YouTube channel, Conversations with Ezra.
I'm Allegra. I channel Ezrah, a group of non-physical entities.
And I'm John. I'm the one who asks all the questions. So, in today's video, we'll be addressing our interaction with the news and how it affects our alignment. What if we told you the problem isn't the news, but how we enter into it?
Ezra says, do not engage your media whatsoever unless you are absolutely certain and focused on the information you are wanting to receive.
This isn't about avoiding the world. It's about aligning with your energy before you let anything else in. Because if you don't, you're not just taking in news, you're absorbing fear, confusion, and chaos that isn't even yours.
So in this video, Ezra is going to walk us through how to apply the wisdom of energetic alignment before engaging into the news media. Okay, so I like this topic. I hope you guys do. Thanks again for joining in. And the reason why I say I like this topic is because sometimes, well, not sometimes, the news these days is what I like to call a focus trap, meaning that it draws you in, suck you in, and you stay there because of everything that's been happening lately. So I think this is a good topic for some of you who find yourself drawn to what's being put out there on the media.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, not all the time. It depends on what it is actually. I've started to pick and choose what I give my attention to. But then when you get into it, you get sucked in. It's like this never-ending, this wormhole of rabbit hole thing that you go into, and it's really hard to get out of because now you're looking for evidence of what the news is saying out there in your day-to-day life, and you're kind of just not get yourself in a bad place with the way you're thinking and interacting with each other, try to bully people into thinking the same way you're thinking because of what you're seeing and listening to. So I think it's an interesting topic. I think it's an important topic from my point of view. Don't know if it is for you guys, but it'll be nice to hear what Ezra has to say about it as well. So
yeah, like for me, and she'll attest to this. I'm not the one that engages in the news very often, and when we do, I'm usually the one that says I don't really want to know any more about it before she does.
Yeah.
She talks about going. She doesn't go very far down the rabbit hole now, but she used to go down the rabbit hole quite a ways, and she's gotten way better at that, which is good.
Well, I used to go looking for things that I wanted to find out about, and yes, I would go down the rabbit hole with that because I wanted to know about certain things, right?
Exactly.
But lately it's been like, for me anyways, it's like no good. I feel it. I feel when I'm paying attention to something, and I can feel it in here that, this is just either distraction, something that's not going to serve me well if I keep listening to it, or whatever. But I these days I have a better sense of when I don't want to know something.
Absolutely.
And we tell each other, if we don't have, just for some of you, we don't know if any of you are like this, but we don't have cable TV, so we don't have access to that sort of stuff. We got rid of our cable TV a very long time ago.
Yep.
So we don't have that going on TV, clicking the channel and being able to watch CNN or Fox News or whatever the news outlets are these days. So a lot of times it's either through Google Feed or Facebook or what is it, Instagram, yeah, which I don't go on a lot of anymore in terms of social media. So, but we do have family and friends that listen to the news. So we've decided that if it's something really important, and we have to know about it, the news will reach us at some point.
It seems to find
and
us.
It does find us. The things that has a bit of an impact on our lives, it does actually find us. We don't go actively digging for it anymore. So again, let's see what Ezra has to say about this. I think it might be an interesting take. Is there something you want to do?
Yeah, just one more thing is I find I buy into negative stuff depending on where I'm at in my mood, like in my mood, the way I'm feeling.
Yes.
So I think that's an important, for me anyway, that's an important piece to recognize that negative finds me when I'm not in a great headspace.
Yeah. Same here, but for me it's mostly, I'm a learner. and I like to learn things. And a lot of times when I'm on there, it's to find information around stuff, things that I didn't know about. But unfortunately, there is that negative aspect of it where people's opinion comes in, and I sometimes end up tapping into a piece of information that has both sides of it, and then I'm down that rabbit hole, as I say. So,
But again, she's got a lot better.
I've gotten a lot better. I go with the intention of wanting to know this particular thing, and there is something about Google and their algorithms now where when you type something in and the result comes in, they kind of keep that in their cookies or whatever. Well, I don't know how they gather the information, but anyways, it stays there. So a lot of times I will find topics coming across my feed based on what I've interacted with before, and not necessarily the junk that I don't want to be a part of. So yeah, anyways, our take on it, we'll talk a little bit more after we've brought Ezrah in and they go back out, and yeah, see what you guys think about this. Okay, so we'll be back with Ezrah in a sec. We are here.
Welcome back.
Good to be back. Is there an asking?
Absolutely. Today we're doing a video for our YouTube channel with regards to watching the news. We want to know stuff like, what's the energetic impact of our media consumption, of watching the news?
Your news outlet is just a projection of something that is wanting to be experienced. So, in and of itself, it is not negative or positive until you assign that to it. Understood?
Understood.
Another asking.
So, why do we get so deeply involved in it? Like, and how does it distort us?
A lot of times, humans go about interacting with things day to day without any thought around aligning their energies with what it is they are wanting to experience. And then something happens, or they observe something happening, and then they assign the good or bad label to it. So it is the same thing that happens when you interact with your media outlet, your news outlet. You go about believing that it is something, first of all, that you should pay attention to, and we say it is not. But since most of you have decided to deem it as a necessity, you go about it as you do everything else in your life. You pay no attention to the alignment of energies before putting your attention on it. And as you do that, most of you may experience a topic that is so distressing or negative for you, and then you deem the news media as something that is horrible. You stay in it a lot longer than you really should. And as you stay in a particular topic that is not necessarily something that is good for you, law of attraction then starts to take place. So the longer you stay in that particular thing, your focus is there, the stronger law of attraction comes into play. And as you continue with focusing there, and law of attraction starts to pick up on that focus and mirror back to you what you are focusing on, you start to experience more and more of it. So every time you turn your attention to your news outlet or your media, you see more of what you have been looking at a long time at. It just keeps perpetuating itself. That is why we say it is not necessarily a good or bad thing. It is only what you assign to it. And if you assign what you are seeing as something negative, then we would say take your attention from it as quickly as you possibly can and realign yourself. But you are taught to pay attention to the negative as if it is important, and it is not. Another asking?
Yeah, I know years ago we spent time with friends and we stayed at their place for a short period, and they had the news on 24/7, and it was actually uncomfortable for me to actually be in the room with the TV on. It just so I would actually dismiss and leave, and so would you. So would Allegra. I mean, so we would actually leave because we just weren't used to that kind of bombardment. Like there was no sifting and sorting. You just got constant bombardment. So why are people so obsessed with it?
First, we'd like to address the leaving the room, as you say, when you realize that it was too much for you. Now, everything is based on focus. And because both you and Allegra were not used to putting your attention and focusing on the news, it was very easy and likely for you and her to remove yourself from the situation, for there wasn't a lot of momentum for law of attraction to bring back that particular thing into your focus over and over. But for those that were there, it was in their habit, if you will, to continue their focus sometimes hours a day on the news. So it was not something that they would even think about removing themselves from, for law of attraction kept giving them more of what they were focusing on. So it was not this thing that they can easily pull themselves away from. It would have had to be a gradually removing their focus away from the news. And we believe that that should give the answer to that question, no?
Yes.
Another asking?
So one of your rules is to align first and engage second.
Precisely.
So how do you align with when you're not knowing what's coming up in the news? How do you get in alignment with it before you engage with it?
Sometimes it's a simple statement to yourself, just saying, I'm going to look for what it is I am wanting to know. And if anything presents itself that I am not interested in or aligned to, I will quickly take my attention from it. And as you go about looking at the media and the news, you will find that certain topics will hold your attention and some won't. And as the ones that hold your attention comes more into focus, you also start to feel whether or not it is something you want to give your attention to more readily or not. And that is where the sifting and sorting happens. And as you hold steady to that saying of only giving your attention to what is important to you, what is going to be beneficial to you, what is going to make you feel good, what is going to enhance your day-to-day living in a positive way, then as you interact with these medias, you will find that the topics that interest you most in a positive way or interest you most in a light-hearted manner or interest you most in a way that is productive to your day-to-day living, those are the things that you will find that you will interact more and more with or will be more in focus for you. It doesn't mean that the things that you are not wanting to see may not arise from time to time, but you will understand innately that is not something that you would like to keep your focus on for a very long time. Another asking?
Well, it's been my experience with the news that the more horrific, the more horrible it is, the more they seem to be involved in it. And that's one of the reasons why I stopped even engaging in news broadcasts altogether. So how do you know if there's ever going to be anything positive? So they really do like to sell the negative.
Mm. You live in a wide world, a big world. And as more of you deem the news to be a negative place, you will only interact with that or more of it. There are a lot of things that are positive. There are a lot of things that is serving you when you put your focus on it in the news. But as you decide to focus on the news as something that is only portraying the horrific, that is only portraying the unnecessary, then you are surely going to interact with those topics that line up with that way of thinking. Another asking?
So I understand that, and that's the reason why I don't interact with the news broadcast for the most part. So, but what is our purpose in seeking out information, this type of information? There has to be a reason why we go looking for it from time to time.
The moving forward. The interest. As you move forward with interest, enthusiasm, and excitement, your life evolves. If you do not have that interest, if you don't have that moving forward, if you do not have that excitement, that looking forward to things that are new, then your life becomes mundane. And that is a time when a lot of you deem it as not wanting to be a part of it anymore. So you cannot have evolvement, evolution, moving forward if you are not going to engage what you would like to have, if you are not going to look for things that hold your interest. And in finding the things that hold your interest, you may stumble across some things that you may not want to engage in. But then from recognizing the things that you are not wanting to engage in, you therefore put it out to the universe that you would like to have things that you would like to engage in. That need, that knowing of that specific thing comes forth, and then you move forward from that regard. So you cannot deem yourself not wanting to engage in something completely. Before, in the contrast is where you will move forward. From that contrast is where you will find the desires of what interests you. Understood?
Understood.
Another asking?
So am I to understand there's a difference between our curiosity and our sifting and sorting and a compulsive consumption? So.
Yes. We would say that the curiosity is where you go in and you sort of look at what's available and start picking the things that holds your interest, and then taking those things that hold your interest and delving further into it. The obsessive behavior, as you say, comes from the continued focus of what is not wanted without understanding that you have a choice. A lot of you believe that you have no choice. As it is being fed to you, that is what you have to take in. But there is always a choice. And as you come to understand that whatever you decide to put your focus on, you have a choice as to whether or not you continue focusing or not, then as you partake in what is being told or what is being presented in the media and on your news outlet, you choose to keep your focus there or to move away from it. Everything is a choice. But also understand, with that choice of continuing to focus there is a consequence to your alignment. If it is not something that is uplifting you, if it is not something that is having you move into a direction of excitement, of purpose, of wanting to be here, then it is taking your alignment, your energy down. And as you engage in it further, it continues to go down. And as that continues to go down, you will find that there are aspects in your life, even though you are not engaging with the news or the media 24/7, but the topics that you engross yourself in, you will find that as you go about your life, you start finding instances of the essence of that around you. So if you are looking at horrific accidents, you start encountering people who talks about accidents a lot. You start encountering things where small accidents happen around you. It may not be happening to you, but you see it happening around you. And the longer you stay focused on those things that you deem as distressful on your news, eventually you will experience it personally. You have to learn that there is a choice of whether to focus here or focus there. And as you do that, you take that energy based on your choice and you either amplify it or not. Understood?
Understood.
Another asking.
So our aligned focus kind of acts as a filter. Is that what I'm understanding? Like it'll bring us to a better place and bring us the information we're actually looking for. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like getting on your internet and going onto a website, and on that website there are filters. And as you go through the filters give you specific choices. And as you choose that and you hit that search button, the results that comes back is based on the filters that you put in. It is exactly the same way. If you do not use your filters through intentions before interacting, what happens is that you get everything coming back at you. But then as everything is coming back at you, you then go back to that filter button and you start getting rid of the things that is not serving you. And you hit search again, and then everything that feels right at that, based on that filter, comes to you. So it is the same thing with your energy, your alignment, your focus before interacting. Another asking?
So what you're saying is there's certain things we should do before we even engage in looking at the news per se. There's certain things that there's certain behaviors, so to speak. What would those be?
We would like to address that question in two ways. One is the immediate paying attention to your focus before interacting with the news. And the other is your focus and alignment way before interacting with the news. So you can have results coming back to you based on the way you generally live your life from day to day. That's it. So that when you interact with the news and the media, you see certain results, but it's just based on your general energetic alignment. The things that you do from day to day, the way you interact with each other from day to day, you actually see that coming back to you in mirror form on the news media. And then there is the interaction with the media based on an immediate wanting. So basically, you may need to have information on a particular topic at that particular moment. And before engaging, you can set a very brief intention to get exactly what you are needing to find out and move on. Understood?
Understood.
Another asking.
So I'm gathering one of the important things that we need to do is before we engage in any news app or social media, there's a certain thing that we should do, and that's to get our focus and our alignment in place first before we actually even get on the apps or get on the news.
Absolutely, because we would like to say that all of your apps, all of your news outlets, before engaging with them, they're all neutral. There is no energy assigned to it from your side. If you would take a moment and think about that app, you're not engaging with it at this particular moment. What does it feel like? There is no energy. So, if you would think of it as having no energy until you engage with it and decide that you will assign the energy to that thing, that app, that news outlet, that social media outlet, And as you are assigning the energy to it, the focus to it, what you would like to see coming back to you, and you open that app or you turn on the television and you see what comes back to you, a lot of times it is exactly what you are feeling that is responded back to you. It is exactly what you are wanting to see. Hence the reason why some of you may open your social media app and it will be flooded with things like health, wealth, well-being, and some of you will experience the exact opposite of that on the very same app, very same outlet. And that is because it is where your predominant alignment is. It will show up as a mirror on those outlets. It has nothing to do with the outlets themselves. These apps, these outlets that you deem as an unnecessary thing, as a thing that can cause harm, it has no power on your well-being until you energetically assign that to it. So it is not the thing that you are wanting to blame. It is your alignment. Another asking.
You know what? I think we covered this subject very clearly. From what I'm gathering, you say don't engage in any kind of news or anything at all unless you're absolutely certain and focused on the information you're wanting.
Information that you are wanting and your alignment around what you are wanting to experience. If you are in a happy, joyful mood and you only want to experience the things that is in tune with that, then by all means focus on that. Open those apps. You will see a lot of that coming back to you. But if you are not in a place where that is what you are not wanting to experience, if you are in a place of looking at what's happening, listening to what others are talking about in a negative way, taking on others' worry around the world events, then as you engage with these apps, these news media outlets, you will find that those are some of the things that will come back to you. It is what you assign to it. And as you assign your focus on a particular thing, it is also up to you to assign how you would like that thing that you are focusing on to affect you. Whether it is something that's just going to pass on, or is it something that's going to have a deep, profound effect on your day-to-day living. Understood?
Understood.
Very well. Until our next interaction, with love. Good day.
Good day.
Hi.
Hey, welcome back.
Hi.
This was fun. It was actually
It was
a
okay.
very interesting and intriguing subject.
Okay.
The thing is, I'm going to disclose a little bit about myself. My Facebook page is mostly puppies and babies, and jokes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that, right?
I know that.
I'm
yes.
always showing jokes.
Yeah.
Mine doesn't have any news feeds on it whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
It never has it, and I don't engage it. And that's because I just don't even really want to. I know that I have a loving wife that engages from time to time, and if I'm supposed to learn something, then she'll let me know.
Well, it's interesting you should say that, because on my Facebook page, I don't have anything other than yoga, because I'm taking my yoga certification.
Mm-hmm.
I have things like yoga. I have things like stretching. I'm telling you guys a little bit of what's going on with me. I have things like how to dress well. I used to be an esthetician and a hairstylist, so I have a lot of things coming across around hairstyling. But then every once in a while, something might be going on out there that others are paying attention to, and someone might post it, one of our kids or whatever, and because you know how Facebook works, you click on it, you look at it, and boom, everything comes up. So usually when that happens, I usually close the app, swipe it off, and just leave it alone for a day or so that it wouldn't come up again. or depending on what it is, then it's like, hey John, did you know so and so, or whatever, right? So, anyways, that happens. But a lot of times between the both of us, we really don't have any of the what we would call world news happening. We love baby photos, not baby videos, especially when babies are just being all, baby like. You laugh and stuff like that. Funny things, animals, horses. We have a thing about looking at horses. So that should tell you guys where our focus is a lot of the time. So yeah, it'll be interesting to hear what you guys have to say about this one. I am going to listen to it and hear what Ezra had to say about it as well. I'm guessing it's something along the lines of what we've spoken about. I think, I don't know, but they seemed chatty today. I could tell when I was bringing them through and they were answering questions that there was a lot of words happening and stuff. But anyways, I'm going to listen to it and hopefully you guys got something out of it. Leave it in the comments what you guys think, because we do live in a social media world, and we do pay attention to a lot of things, and a lot of the algorithms are actually done in such a way that we interact a lot with social media and the news and stuff. So it'll be nice to hear what you guys have to say about that. I would love to hear what's the take on all of this.
And thank you again for joining us. Again, hopefully you learned something from this.
Yes.
Subscribe, like, send us comments, and let us know what you think.
Yeah. Thanks again for watching, and until our next video, have a great one, guys. Take care.